was just 14 when his parents built a very strange machine. It was designed to view a world unseen. When it didn't quite work, his folks, they just quit. Then Danny took a look inside of it. There was a great big flash, everything just changed. His molecules got all rearranged. When he first woke up, he realized he had snow white hair and glowing green eyes. He could walk through walls, disappear, and fly. He was much more unique than the other guy, and it was then that he knew what he had to do. He had to stop while the ghosts were coming through. He's here to fight for me and you.
Like it's 1988.
Chad, do you remember 1988? I was there. Definitely. I totally, like, this song never fucking plays on the streams. And, like, I totally forgot this was in the playlist, even. But it's such a, like, such a sick song. I almost said such a shit song. I don't mean that. It's actually a very good song. Floof, I'm assuming you want me to show off your food, so I will. Because you posted it in memes for streams. You weren't even conceived yet? Well, that's what you think. Oh, fuck, hold on, I gotta show that. That's fucking funny. Come on. Come on, you fucker. Did I... Oh, wait, it's 2, isn't it? Yeah, there we go. Look at that. I feel like this looks like what I imagine Sack when she switches into gremlin mode. Just very mischievous. And then here we got... Oh, fuck, that looks nice. Hell yeah. Yeah, it is the thick noodles. Oh my god, that is fantastic meat. Is that even meat? I think that's meat. I'm pretty sure that's meat. Anyway, how are you guys doing? How are you guys feeling? So I've actually managed to not fucking be in online mode at the start of a stream for once. I don't know how I did it. It's Duck. Well, then never mind. Nah, Duck is alright. Duck is okay. I'm, like, not the biggest fan of it. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but, yeah, Duck's okay. Duck's okay. Hold on, there we go. There's cheat engine. I mean, there's totally legit engine. It's okay, Miyazaki. I'm not cheating in your 10-year-old game. You don't have to worry about a thing. Sometimes, you know, sometimes I think I'm very smart. But then I realize that I've got like a handful of people to tell me that quite the opposite is the case. Which is fine, you know. Miyazaki's gonna bust down the door and be like, "Are you cheating in the Dark Souls game?" Well, the thing is, Miyazaki didn't even work on this one, did he? Mulamilch. Fuck you, Floof. I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'm gonna eviscerate you. Shit. Anyway. I'm just bringing up the item spawning guide, by the way. Alright. Let's keep going, then. Hey! Welcome, Path. Welcome, welcome. Man, I almost fucking missed starting the stream because you motherfuckers kept talking to me about food. Not that I'm complaining. Food is good. But goddamn. Playing video games? Never. I would never. Maybe that was the plan. You just didn't want to see me play... Oh wait, shit. I think I forgot to... Yeah, I did forget to start the Sliggy. There we go. Is that working? Sliggy. Yeah, that's working. Perfect. I didn't forget to start the Sliggy. I would never do such a thing. But yeah, so we're back. For those of you who weren't here last time, we're doing the second DLC. We already finished Crown of the Old Iron King. As you can see, I'm holding 2 of the smelter, the blue smelter demon's weapon, which is very nice. You're going to a convention? Oh, hell yeah. What kind of convention? I didn't even know they still did those. What is that? I feel like if I walk in here, I'm gonna die. You cunt. You can't trick me. You can't fucking trick me. I'm too smart. But anyway, yeah, so we're doing Crown of the Sunken King. It's a DLC I don't know that much about. So no Dragonstone inventory. Well, how do you know? I'm still excited to actually play through this though. Oh, hello. DragonCon is this weekend. I've had tickets for over a year. Oh, hell yeah. So then that's like a good thing that it's actually happening, right? Because I'm assuming that probably wasn't like a sure thing that it was gonna happen, right? Is that like a furry thing? Am I gonna have to make fun of you for being a furry again? I won't. Well, I mean, I'm a retard. Is DragonCon a furry thing? Dragons are literally... you know what? Forget my question. I didn't ask anything. Wait. I already do. I'm a furry. I'm a sliggy. That's a whole different thing. Convention about bad dragons. I don't know if that's a convention I would go to. It's a Comic-Con type convention. Okay. Yeah, I've always wanted to go to like Vienna Comic Con, but then this year it didn't happen, or I think it's like supposed to happen in either October or November. And I'd still really like to go, but you know, the question is if it's going to happen at all. Wait, this is just the way back. Oh, okay, I opened a shortcut. Gotcha. This is, yeah, we gotta go the other way then. You mean chromatic dragons, they're bad? We should all go to a con and just kill each other until one is left? Sounds like a plan. I'm in, let's go. What if I just, like... I should disable death from gravity. No weapons, final destination. I feel like that would be severely unfair. Battle Royale, is this a Fortnite convention? Yes. Wasn't there like an unofficial Fortnite convention by like some scammer people? This isn't gonna kill me, right? Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Dude, we're... Dude, we're playing Metal Gear Solid. Oh, God. It's hell yeah, dude. It's Metal Gear Solid. Dun 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 dun. It's just without the changing camera angles. Alright, that doesn't work that way. Gotcha. Nice though. Now I know. Now I can Wait, did Tidor not know what Bad Dragon is? Only why the fuck should you? I don't know. I mean, I guess I guess most people wouldn't know still today what Bad Dragon is. Yeah, that's fair. You know, Tidor, you're excused. You're excused. What the fuck? Where do they want you to go then? I don't got no fucking Dragonstone. Maybe there was another way to go. I guess I didn't fully explore the temple, did I? I guess I have to go back in there, yeah. That would make sense. Still tempted to buy one just out of curiosity. Aren't they, like, expensive? I mean, I wouldn't know. I don't really get any use out of Bad Dragons, but... Now that you know, you'll keep it as the chromatic dragon joke to forget it. Fair enough, Tidor. I can't blame you. Oh, these fuckers are back. Hi, boys. I'll remind you daily, then. Ah, fuck you. Your furry plague spreads. Oh god. Well, I mean, to be fair, like, I think Tidor's like the most basic person when it comes to, like, anime girls and shit like that as well, because Tidor's like literally only interested in cat girls. So it's like, isn't it Scalies then? I mean, yeah, basically, right? Like, from what I understand, what I understand though, like, Scalies are still just considered to be like part of the furry fandom. So it's like, usually when you say furries, you also like by proxy mean Scalies, right? But they're yeah, like dragons would definitely be Scalies. Okay. Here we are. Is there like a button? Is there like a thing? Cause this shit ain't correct. Oh wait, there's a thing I can go up there. These ghost dudes are ass. Oh my fuck. Ah, you missed. Let's see. Wow, dude, you're fucking basic. Why am I even friends with you? Based. Final Fantasy 14 made me find a cat girl I don't like. It made things possible I thought wouldn't be. Do you find her still hot? I mean, I guess, yeah, I guess one isn't really exclusive to the other, is it? Oh, shit. It's alright, though, Tidor. It's okay to have basic tastes sometimes. There's nothing wrong with that. Inherently. You should definitely broaden your horizons to... I don't know. What other animals do you like? Is there such a thing as boar girls? Has that ever been, like, made into a thing? Probably not, right? There are boar girls. Might you then direct me to one, Floof? Because I'm actually curious, because that sounds like a concept that wouldn't be done a whole lot. There is a rule that's called everything exists. I think what you're talking about is Rule 34, and that's a whole different... That's a whole different kind of rule. Does this man really just have a gun? Is this our enemy? Well, whatever. I love how Tidor won't answer my question. You can't find boar girls, but you did find something interesting. Well, you would assume, right? With all the different kinds of like animal girls that there are. Wouldn't a boar... That was... Thank you for mentioning it, Path. That was exactly my thought as well. Wouldn't a boar girl be an orc? I guess you could say that. Yeah, that's like kind of. But I'm talking like really like just features of a boar, I guess. But then, yeah, I mean, I'm... What? What the fuck? I see. Short stack goblin supremacy. I mean, are there goblins that aren't short stacks? I guess, yeah. I guess you could have, like, skinny goblin women. But why would you? YouTube deleted your answer? You looked up boar girl and found that? Well, I don't know, maybe put like anime boar girl in there. Maybe that'll change it up to be correct. Oh shit, Genshin downloaded. Hell yeah. Alright, well now that we've made everybody tangible, this is gonna turn out a lot easier than before. Yeah, I'm fucking stoked. Fucking Ball is great. Even the Monster Girl Encyclopedia uses Urks to represent a pig boar looking monster girl. Fair enough, you know, fair enough. Like, if that's the case, then... Sad day to find a cat girl that isn't hot, huh? No, because she's a fucking bitch was the answer, Tidor 2021. I mean, I get that. I get that. There's some monster girls that even I don't find like particularly attractive, right? Like I'm not necessarily like a huge fan of like monkey girls, right? For example, although like even there it's like I've seen a couple of pictures of Shantae in her like in her monkey form that were pretty hot. So it's like maybe sometimes it just comes down to the artist. Oh wait, no, this is bad. This is the way back. But it's like generally even just overall, like there's a lot of, or well, maybe not a lot, but there's plenty of characters where like I can see the appeal, but it's like I could never, like for example, for me, I could never I'm trying to look for a better way to say jack off, but I can't really think of one. So I couldn't like ever jack off to like the women in JoJo, right? Like even though I clearly recognize the fact that they're attractive, it's just like I don't find them attractive to that degree. I guess maybe. And it's like it works that way for me with like a lot of characters, right? Or not a lot, but some. I'm trying to think of what else, like, I don't know. You know, thinking isn't exactly my specialty, as some of you may have surmised. Oh yeah, right, we gotta go downstairs. I could go to the classic funny masturbation word. Well, I was gonna like say something funny, like, I don't know, like whack the willy or jerk the Johnson or some shit like that, but then I couldn't think of anything fast enough, even though that would have probably worked just as well. Just smack that old Samuel around or something like that, right? You get it. I don't know. And then it's always weird. Slap the salmon Tidor sometimes is eating. Oh, well, that's not nice. Don't slap that specific salmon. Salmon. Man, am I really gonna have to... I don't want to, like, kill these dudes. Not again. Hey, fucker. Basically, don't roll, just run. Playing with my joystick? Yeah, sure. That one works, sure. Why the hell not? You fucking fool. But, yeah, I mean, ultimately, I don't know. Like, obviously, aside from the ring that wiener, obviously, aside from, like, lolly characters and shit like that, there's just, like... Personally, I like plug and play. Well, plug and play is more like... That's either just fucking, or it's like... shoving something up your ass while you jack off. That would be the plug part, and then the play part is obviously, you know... We're what? We're not even half an hour in? Wonderful. Wouldn't have it any other way. Die, please. This Ava series looking ass motherfucker. I think I said that last time and it was just as funny. So did anyone... I will assume the answer is no, but did anyone here watch the new Evangelion movie that came out? Like a week ago or so? Or 2 weeks ago? Shit. Yeah, we should just, like, fight normally here. No, you're not a nerd. No, fuck that. Yeah, I mean, it, like... I've heard, like, a lot of mixed things about it. And I'm also not big on Anno, like, trying to fucking redo his goddamn series every, like, 10 years. No, but I'm guessing John Evangelion got into Robot finally. From what I heard, and I can't confirm this because I haven't seen it and I'm probably not gonna watch it, but from what I heard, it's like, it turns out that... Or not, it doesn't turn out, but basically... I think they revealed that most of it was all just like in Shinji's head or something, or it's like he uses the opportunity at the end of Evangelion to like basically turn the world into a normal fucking place where he just becomes like a regular salaryman, and he marries Mari, which is literally the worst choice, but fine by me. And it's just like, I don't know. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a massive fan of Anno repeatedly fucking going like, hey, this is actually what the end of Evangelion was supposed to be, you know? Like, for those of you who didn't get it, where it's like, we didn't fucking need that, right? If you've seen the original series, the ending might be fucking confusing to you. It will be. But basically, what happens is... Oh wait, this is wrong. I gotta go this way. Basically, it's just like... all of humanity joins into one. And those who have, like, the willpower to separate themselves from the soup, just get reborn as human beings right back into the world after the third impact, and that's it. It's not that fucking difficult to understand, right? But then, you know, we've been going through this shit for like 20 years now, so of course it's important to just make another fucking Eva movie. Like, I understood why he made End of Evangelion, but it's like, we don't need more. Hey, what happened in the hospital scene? That is from the movie, I think, right? Yeah, Shinji just jacks off to Asuka. Who apparently, according to this new movie, like, the Asuka we see in all of Evangelion is apparently a clone of, like, a person who actually existed but was, like, already an adult. But it's like, it's kind of the mind of the adult and the body of, like, younger Asuka or whatever. And that's why she acts the way she does in the anime. But it's like, I don't... Like I said, I haven't seen it. I can't tell you that that's the case. If that's the case, really. So it's like... Yeah. Dude, nice fucking miss. I like the funny plush girl. You mean Ray? Yes. Ray is best girl. But see, for me, it was always a pretty obvious choice that Shinji should just fuck Asuka anyway. Because what else is he gonna do? Too busy having enjoyed Mobile Suit Gundam Hathaway. What the fuck was that? Oh, shit. Hey there, boys. Really? Oh my god, I fucking missed all of them. I reacted too slowly, clearly. Fuck you. There's not even anything in here. Well, that paid off. Speaking of Gundam, God, the creator of Gundam, needs to retire. I love the series, but he's wrecking his body and continuing his work. Really? He's still going? Holy shit. Like, how long has Gundam been going for at this point? Like, at least 20 years, right? Guy's pretty much getting almost fully paralyzed from how much he works. And he's like, I got 3 more years in me, I'm fine. the standard Japanese mindset, working mindset. It's like, I might be fucking dying, but, like, you know, I gotta draw the funky robots. I mean, I get that, right? If you're passionate about something, you don't want to stop doing it. Even if your body is literally fucking disintegrating. I get it. But yeah. Original Gundam released in 1979. Yeah, goddamn, so like 40 years then. Shit. Fucking Christ. Well, more than 40 years even, but you know what I mean. Well, I sure am glad these guys have poise for days. That's good. I was worried that they wouldn't. I was worried they'd get, like, staggered or something. Wouldn't that be a fucking horrid... Your adventure rank 9. You thought you were lower. I'm at adventure rank 35, but I've leveled so much that I would potentially, be probably at 36 by now, but I haven't leveled up world rank yet. So I'm stuck at 35 for now, which will be fine because like most of my characters aren't like the only character that I have that I like can't ascend because of the world level cap is Gene. Tomino himself is like 79. Jesus Christ. Jesus. Fuck. God damn it. There we go. Okay. Okay. Come on, motherfucker. Die. Let's see. Relevant to earlier conversation. Short Stack Records. Jesus. Oh, hell yeah. Based. Can Rouge really be considered a short stack, though? I guess, yeah. Because I guess she, like, even if you say, like, oh, by Sonic character terms, she's, like, a regular height. But then I guess... if, yeah, like, you could say that about every character. No, short stacks are based. She's like she is like, yeah, they're all like 3 feet tall, basically, right? Like, Sonic isn't much taller either, right? Sonic is a hedgelet. Do you think Sonic, like, once he turns 30, or well, I guess he already has, but like, in World 30, do you think he'll become an incel? Think he'll post on R9K? Like, women don't want to date you if you can't run past 390 miles per hour. They only go for the 400 miles per hour chads these days. That's that guy's whole channel, zooming in on interestingly named businesses with anime girls. Do you need, like, does your channel need to be based on anything else? Frankly, if I could make money with that kind of thing, I would. There's a somewhat funny quote from Tomino about his age and his continuing to work. It's gotten to the point where I can't walk well anymore. When I see myself walking on camera, I think, whoa, this guy's a serious medical condition. Oh my god, Jesus. That's fucking horrible. Christ. But I mean, hey, I guess at least he's taking it with humor, right? That's commendable. That's commendable. Frankly, I thought, Path, when you posted that video, I thought it was gonna be like elf. It was gonna be lewd elf bullying, but then it was just short stack celebration. I highly recommend the Yaru Sushi and the Office Lady. I mean, he's still 80. Yeah, right? It's like, it's crazy. Office Ladies are top tier. Christmas cake is the only cake that I'll eat all year round. Did I just eat? Did I just eat to the floor? This is just the place I was in just now, isn't it? I've got a feeling that I'm supposed to, like, jump even further down, but I'm, like... That doesn't entirely sound correct. Maybe I can make it over there? Oh, wow. Okay. That works. I mean, considering this is the way I'm supposed to go, yeah, it does work. I don't support bullying, but the only form of bullying that I do support is of lewd elves. That's the only kind. But it has to also be playful. It can't be mean. You can't make him cry. You can only make fun of them for being a lewd race. I mean, I say that and then I'm a slime, so... I don't know how... You know, I don't know how that works out, but... He's still 80. Yeah, fucking Christ. He's still working at 80. Jesus. Wait, I mean, some people are like that, right? Some people don't wanna stop just because... Shut up. Oh shit, wait. Guys, look, it's Alana, the Squalid Queen. What's wetter? Well, this woman. Also, this is the Crown of the Sunken King DLC, so it was just kind of a... Oh shit! It's Velstad. He's back. What? Oh, she turned around. I did not notice that. Bonk. Don't heal. Whatever you do, don't heal. Ow. Okay, she didn't heal. This isn't much better. Goodbye, ma'am. Oh, fuck! That guy can still get a hit in on you, even if you've defeated him. Or her, I mean. Oh, dude, what is this? What is this, Dark Souls 1? With what's currently in production, Gundam-wise... G-Reco and the Hathaway trilogy of movies were probably the last things Tomino works on. Yeah, for better or for worse, right? Oh, that's right. This is the dragon boss. What a fucking insane DLC. You just get 2 bosses back to back. How much damage did this do to you? Not a whole lot, it seems. I guess you're made of rock, so it's not too surprising. Ouch. You land. Well, I do okay damage at least, I guess. Shit. Get out of there. They always gotta put in one fucking crazy ass dragon boss in the DLC. They did that with Dark Souls 1. They're doing it here. Your parcel arrived a day early? Hell yeah. What did you order? God damn it, man. More fruit locks. I don't know what that is. Whoa. I guess I don't really need to. This guy sucks, dude. This is the easiest guy. This is the easiest boss in the whole game. I say as he does like a third of my fucking health bar. But he's easy. Furutsu. Got him. Oh shit. Hold on. That time around I got him. There he goes. I win. I've won the game. Jorg's ring. What is the ring of Jorg? What does the Ging of Gorg do? Sometimes deflects sometimes deflects spells. You know, whenever it feels like it. You can't make a ring work 24/7, you know. What next I gotta give it fucking dental? What are you, a fool? Crown of the Sunken King. Wait, are we done? Yay. If it feels like deflecting the spell, it will. Don't worry. It's fine. I mean, if you say so, man. Was that actually it? Because usually I believe you get the... I mean, granted, I should maybe read what the fucking thing does, huh? Crown of the Old Iron King. One who once ruled this land. The king sunk below the scorching iron. This is from the other DLC. The king sunk below the scorching iron, met the one whose name must never be repeated, and became Icarus, Earth, These were events of long ago, and today no one even remembers the king's name. That's what happens when you're a fucking forgettable bitch. Crown of the sunken king who once ruled this land. The king erected the eternal sanctum below the earth to worship the great dragon, but the towering bulwark crumbled with the city shortly after the dragon's awakening. But these were events of long ago, and today no one even remembers the king's name. The CH is probably pronounced like Bach or Bach. Okay, let's see. Dark Soul Crown. The Sunken King. There he is. What bosses do we got? Alright. Grave Robber, Varg, and Sarah information. Sanctum Walk, Priestess Chamber Bonfire, optional boss. The Cave of the Dead, accessed after the Priestess Rest bonfire. Have I even gotten there yet? I gotta check. Which one is the Priestess's Rest bonfire? Alright, so this ain't it. I guess we did get a key to the first place, and there was a door we couldn't open, so I suppose it might be a good idea to, you know, hop back there and oh, it's a common writer thing. I mean, of course it would be. Is that fucking bananas? That's fucking bananas. Hell yeah. Let's go this way around. Man, if this is how quickly this is going... I mean, to be fair, Ivory King is pretty long, I remember. Ivory King also has the most bosses. So it's like, we're probably not gonna... We're not just gonna quickly be able to run through that one. Because we also have to go and actually walk through the entire area to be able to see the first boss. Otherwise, that'll just be a bit of a bitch to work through. Shit. That attack is so strong, but like it... What are you doing? That attack is so strong, but it really doesn't work with... It really mostly just works with boss enemies, because they... If they're big enough, they can't get out of your way. Because otherwise, these smaller dudes kind of just evade your attacks, sadly. Hey there. Friend. It's crazy how the Smelter Demon's weapons don't at all, like, stagger these guys. Like, you would assume that great swords in general would have that effect, but no. Maybe I should switch up my gear again. Maybe that'd be a good idea. What else do we have? That's like... pretty sick. Iron King Hammer? Sure, why not? Iron King Hammer, and then in the other hand I'll put the Spitfire Spear. Let's see what this bad boy does. This thing oughta whap him good. That's not bad, I guess. It kind of does similar things as the Smelter Demon, except worse somehow. Why is why is it that the special attack is shit? Like, look at how much damage that does, and then oh, come on. There we go. Look at those boys over there. Some funky kids. Let's see. I guess I could have traveled to the other bonfire, huh? That would probably make things a lot easier. I thought I was gonna die. Or at least fall down, I guess. Oh, there we go. Why did that do so much damage this time? What? Alright. Sure. This one, right? Come on. Yeah, there we go. This ought to bring us to where we gotta be. No? Is this just a fucking room? No, it does lead somewhere, it seems. So what are you guys up to, by the way, besides watching the stream? If I may be so bold as to ask. Just got back sorting out your new things. Nice. Thinking of doing more art? Hell yeah. Dried root. Dried root. Lightning clutch ring. Well, I was really hoping it would be more dried root. Let's see. Real. I think we're safe up here to look at the guy. Banana lock on, come on, banana arms, Knight of Spear. Common Rider Baron. There's a lock seed of Baron. The jingle is Knight of Banana. Oh, fuck. I mean, he does look like a banana man, so I get it. I get it. I'm not a fool. How much you want to bet this doesn't actually lead anywhere? Although I feel like it has to, because like look at Skittery. Oh, there we go. There's a bonfire there. Where does this lead? Does this open up a shortcut? No. Sanctum Shield. I've really not gotten any use out of shields in this playthrough. Maybe that kind of is tied together with the fact that well, I can't not die, but, like, it's really hard to die. Alright. Well, doing this affect anything? I doubt it. I was correct. Like... Well, I shouldn't have done that. That is a cool looking shield, though. You, and then I'll put you in the other hand for the time being. Smelter hammer. I don't remember what that was from. Okay, that's pretty sick. That could be useful. Check it out. That doesn't do nearly as much damage as I would have hoped. I guess he's also blocking. That's still not that much damage. But it is kind of cool. Oh my god, he locked my Estus. What a dickhead. What a fool. Ah, this is the priestess chamber. Okay, so we're going the right direction. And I'm assuming this goes to some place I've already been. I gotta say, like, I feel like the old Iron King DLC was a lot more interesting. Because this one's kind of... This one's kind of boring, honestly. I mean, because, like, the Iron King DLC at least had you, like, do something. That looks like a place we could go. Maybe for some extra stuff. If not, I can always just teleport back. It's like this one... I think I know now why this one is, like, the most forgettable. For sure. Because this one doesn't seem like it does a whole lot at all. Oh, nice, 5 torches. As if I'm at any fucking shortage of those. What, I have like 18 hours of torch life? Thank you. There we go. Ooh, dark grates. Oh, but that's a spell though, isn't it? All right. No, not that. Let's go back to the last bonfire. Yeah, like, I gotta be honest, this DLC really isn't that, spectacular. I mean, I guess that's fair. They can't all be winners, right? So... Oh, Jesus, my ass. Today, I had a conversation, well, it was actually last night, but I had a conversation with a friend of mine from Japan, and we were talking about, because we were talking about, like, the manga that we are reading currently. And she is reading well, God of High School isn't really a manga. That's that's Korean, but I've been meaning to start that one, and she's reading it currently, and she told me that she's really been into, and this is also something my coworker has said a couple times, like she told me that she's really into like Korean mangas at the moment because of how shitty like the last couple of we are Audi 5,000 because of how horribly the last couple of manga she read ended. And we both came to the conclusion that Attack on Titan's ending was shit, and then also, which I think was more egregious because I was actually hoping for some good closure on that one. Quintessential Quintuplets. I don't believe any of you have probably ever read that one or seen the anime, because there is 2 seasons of that anime out already. But Quintessential Quintuplets is the one that like pissed me off the most, and I went into such a long rant about that manga that like I went to sleep at like I think like 2:30 a.m. or something like that. And mind you, this is like after me working the whole day, so you know, very clearly a fun time. I haven't read part 8 yet. I've seen the final page. I've seen the final page, or the final panel, but I haven't read part 8 at all. Like, not much of it yet, so I can't comment. I mean, you can tell me the ending anyway, because I don't care about being spoiled. I was spoiled on part 6's ending as well, so, and I still enjoy part 6, so really it doesn't matter that much to me. But I don't think you can kill these guys. You think you remember me going on a mini rant on stream once? Definitely, because it is like, so Quintessential Quintuplets is, as you may have guessed, very fittingly for a big ol' shonen buff like me, a slice of life rom-com manga, which there are very few of those that I believe to be well written, but Quintessential Quintuplets was definitely one of the ones that where I was like, yeah, this is good shit. This is like well written, because you know there's a lot of romance manga out there that are pretty either like terribly written, or it's just like a bunch of will they won't they. And you know, that's not to say that you shouldn't have any of that, because obviously that's kind of what a lot of romance stuff thrives on, right? But with this one, it wasn't that terrible. But basically what Quintuplets is about is the main character is a dude who is, I mean, he's an asshole, but he's like, the only thing he's good at is studying. And he meets these 5 girls who, as you may, well, not true, he meets one of the 5 girls. And you know, they get off all the way on the wrong foot, Like, they hate each other, basically. Because he's an asshole. And she's a woman. That's not true. That's not really the reason, but it's like, you know. But basically, you know, they get off all on the wrong foot. And then it's revealed in the first episode that because her and her sisters are shit at school, the main character was hired by their dad as a tutor for them. So that, you know, that works out really well. But you know, as things go in romance manga, it's basically like, you know, they all end up getting closer to each other. They all start liking each other, and, you know, inadvertently, the women start to fall in love with our hero. And what's important to note is that when you start reading or you start watching, the first thing you are shown is of the main character getting married to a woman. And it is only later revealed that that woman is actually one of the quintuplets, right? But it's like, it's played off pretty well because they, you know, they all look the same, and then on their wedding day, they're also like all dressed the same. And so you can't really tell like which one of them it is that he's marrying. And basically, you know, the entire premise is you already know that they're gonna end up that he's gonna end up with one of them. The question is, with which one? And I like the fact that, like, the manga isn't coy about it, that it like says, yeah, one of them is definitely gonna marry him. I like that because, I mean, you know, usually when you read a romance manga, you're already kind of in the clear of the fact that, yes, indeed, one of the main women is going to marry the main character, right? And it's like, it's always just a question of which one. And basically, like I said, the whole thing is just really, like, it's a really fun read because it kind of breaks a lot of tropes. Which, you know, that's something I always enjoy when it's well done. Oops. Come on. And, so, yeah, basically, he gets, like, it's already set in stone, he's getting married to one of them, but the question is, you know, which one of them? And, hold on, I gotta, because this guy, not Havel, is definitely being a piece of shit right now. Basically, there are, you know, there are 5 girls, obviously, and I'll tell you guys about them, and I'll go over their character. It's gonna be spoilers, but, you know, I mean, I'm assuming you guys probably won't watch it anyway, or if you will, it'll still be pretty obvious. Like, it's pretty fast-paced, I will say. So it's like, it's still a fun read though. But basically, so the first one is, and yes, their names are all puns on the how manyth born they are. So the first one is obviously Ichika, and she's like the big sister of the 5. Like usually for most of the manga ends up, you know, sacrificing her time and her, well, not her well-being, because I don't think she's the one who gets sick. I think it was another one, but whatever, it's not that important. But basically, you know, she's the one who usually ends up, like, sacrificing her time and money. I mean, granted, they're all rich, but, even when they, like, move out of the house for a bit, and live on their own for a spell, she's like the one who, because she's the only one who actually has a job. She works as like an actress, and like right from the get-go you can tell that her job is like very important to her. So yeah, very much just, you know, the big sister of the group. And I'll read what you wrote in a bit, Laura, don't worry. She, like, when I started reading, I was pretty sure that she was gonna have an arc where she, you know, considering she's the big sister, I was pretty sure there was gonna be an arc where it'll be like, okay, she falls in love with the main character, but she'll, you know, take one for the team, and she, like, you know, she won't confess in favor of one of her other sisters, basically. Okay, that's it. We're done in this DLC. Cool. Not the case at all, by the way, which was very surprising, but also very frustrating for me, considering the fact that I should equip a regular, well, yeah, I can equip a regular bow. There we go. No, never mind. I'll equip a staff. So basically, not at all the case. She ends up being... She ends up turning into, like, a kind of a huge cunt. I'm not gonna lie. By, like, this point in the series, like... At first, she's very much adamant about the fact that, like, oh, you know, she's the big sister, and as such, she should, like, you know, step back and let one of the other girls have him. But, she goes back on that pretty quickly. And, like, it... Which, that's what made me dislike her character by this point a lot. Because they all look the same. They often have this... Not gag usually, but it's like, it's really more of a plot device where one of them will dress up as another sibling just to fucking test the main character, right? And what she does is, like, she becomes aware of the fact that two of her sisters are also in love with the main character. And she dresses up as the third sister, and I'll get to her in a bit, but she dresses up as the third sister and basically confesses to the main character by proxy, you could say. As in, like, she dresses up as her sister, goes to the MC and tells him, hey, by the way, Ichika is in love with you. And it's like, okay. that's kind of cunty, because that, like, the sister she dresses up as is actually the first one who falls in love with the main character, so, you know, that's a little sussy. I do hate myself for saying that, yes. So she, like, her character kind of turns into just a real nasty bitch. Because she does this repeatedly, even does it at a later point in the series where the other, like, said sister that she disguises herself as actually finds out. And, you know, it kind of ruins their relationship just a little bit. So that's fucking cool. And it's kind of weird to see that, and that's what I meant with, like, the kind of the breaking of stereotypes and tropes, where it's like, you know, usually the big sister type character would resign herself to, you know, not be with the main character, but she's actively, like, fighting for the guy's dick. Not literally, but... Which is interesting to see, but it kind of makes me dislike her as a character, because she's just really, like, pretty cruel about it. I'm not gonna lie. Is that... Yeah, that thing's dead. But, like, when I first started reading, I was pretty sure that she was gonna be, like... Either it was going to be her, or it was gonna be... Oh, wait. Oh, never mind, I don't have to do that. Or it was gonna be like what I said, right? And... Oh, wait, no, this is the wrong way. God damn it. Yeah, so basically, like, her character development, for me anyway, went all the way in the wrong direction. That's the first sister, Ichika. And then we've got the second sister, Nino, who starts off in the series as basically... She's basically just the... I wouldn't even say tsundere. I think she really just does hate the main character. Like, even when all other sisters have, like, basically accepted him, she's, like, the one who just really doesn't give a shit and really doesn't want anything to do with him. So, as you may imagine, she only goes through literally, like, the best character development in the entire series. Like, no joke. When I started reading, I fucking hated her guts. Right now, she's basically at, like, the same level as she's on, you know, the #1 spot together with another character. But I'll get to that in a bit. And, like, because she, like I said, she starts off as, like, just a really mean bitch. But her arc is, like, really fucking interesting and just really good in general, right? And even outside of just with the main character, with, like, the other sisters, it's just a really, really good arc. And that is so surprising, because I usually never like the tsundere characters or whatever, right? It's like, normally I despise those characters. Hey, you're rank 10 now, nice sack. But she, and this is definitely one of my favorite moments in the anime, or in the manga as well. She, even, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She breaks one of the, in my opinion, most dumbass tropes in anime and manga, which is she confesses her love to the main character. She's actually the first one to do this. Like, directly to him. Nope. Okay. Yeah, so basically, she confesses, she's the first one to confess to the main character. However, while she does it, they're on his, like, motorcycle. Well, it's not really a motorcycle, it's like a, you know, it's one of those scooters. And he doesn't hear her, obviously, as they always do in these fucking romance mangas. So when they get to a place, it doesn't really matter, it's a restaurant, it's the restaurant the main character works at. When they get there, they have like a talk, and she realizes that he definitely didn't hear her. And then she walks off, and it's basically like, okay, she's like, she's gonna, like, you know, she's gonna confess to him at another time. Fucking no. Walks right back into the kitchen and tells that fucking dude again, hey, I'm in love with you. And from that point on, she is basically the most assertive about her feelings. Like, she'll at a later point in the story, they go to a hotel with a hot springs in there, and she'll just straight up, like, walk into the hot springs where the main character is, obviously still, like, dressed in a towel, and she'll just go like, hey, I'll wash your back for you, main character kun. Like, yeah, I'm naked, my titties are out, I'll wash your back for you. And it's like, okay, she's clearly serious about this. And it's that kind of shit that I like to see, because, like, usually everybody will basically, like, be put on hold until the next character confesses, or until, like, the main character, I don't know, realizes that he's in love with somebody else. So it's pretty refreshing to see that, like, you actually have one of the female characters putting some energy into actually wanting to be together with the main character as well. And she literally doesn't stop, right? Like, throughout the entire series, Nino still keeps going with, like, making him fall for her, right? And I like that, because it's, you know, it's, again, it goes against most tropes that you would find in a story like this. But yeah, that's her. Like I said, great character development. I don't want to, I literally do not want to spoil too much on what her development is about, because it's actually, like, it's very enjoyable to read. So if you do decide to give it a read, I'll gladly keep you unspoiled in that regard. Like, her confessing, sure, is kind of a spoiler, but it's like, it feels much more deserved when you see, like, how they got there, right? But that's the second sister, Nino. And then we get to the third sister, who, right from the get-go and until now, is still, like, my favorite. Reason being, so the third sister is called Miku. No relation to the blue-haired bitch. And I think I like her the most design-wise, but also just, like, personality-wise. She's basically, you know, she's the shy one. She's, Like, the main thing she's interested in is, like, old Japanese history, right? She like warlords and samurais and shit like that. And she's the first one to, like, admit to the viewer, I guess, that she's in love with him. Like, she doesn't... I think she still, to this point, has not confessed. Well, she kind of did the opposite of what Nino did, and kind of pulled the old switcheroo on the main character. Where basically, like, she confesses, but then she's like, oh no, I was actually... Like, when I said I love you... I was talking to my sisters that were hiding behind you. Although the main character does know. I don't know why he knows. I forgot that part, sadly. But yeah, her character in general, I just really like. Could do with being a bit more assertive, but I guess, you know, I guess that's potentially gonna be part of a... Potentially going to be part of a future arc of the manga that's over. You know, like I said, could do with being more assertive, I would argue. But otherwise, still a great character, and definitely design-wise, my favorite, no doubt about that. Even still to this day. There's not too much to say about her, I guess. Other than the fact that she was, like, the first one, basically, to really accept the main character. Even, like, just as the tutor, not even just as a love interest. But, yeah. I like her. And then we get to, the fourth sister, Yotsuba, who is basically the retard of the group. Like, she's the dumbest one. She's basically a complete opposite to the main character. She's super athletic, but doesn't have that much smarts going on. And she's kind of also like she's the main driving force behind one of the arcs where he has to get, like, all 5 sisters to pass the final exam of the year. Otherwise, he won't be allowed by the dad to continue as their tutor. And then he ends up quitting anyway because, I actually forget why. But he ends up quitting anyway, but then they hire him anyway, again, like the sisters do, and that's the point of the story where they, like, move out for a bit, and they all, like, get jobs and shit. But yeah, Yotsuba she's really not, like, she's not a driving force behind most of the manga, to be, like, completely fucking honest with you. Like, she's not a bad character or anything, but she's like, her screen time is very limited. So that there's, like, really not much more, and even her character arc, like, the problem is her character is based on just being overly kind and being, like, really fucking stupid. So there's not much of, like, development you can actually have there, right? Like, it's not that she's a bad character or anything. It's just that there's not a whole lot to work with. And then there's the fifth sister, which is the sister the main character meets first. Itsuki, who she's the one with the least romantic development. Well, no, she's not the one with the least romantic development. But But you could argue that she's like the one with, I guess, the least romantic tension with the main character. They meet, you know, at the start of the series, and he inspires her to like want to become a teacher as well, despite the fact that she's also kind of dumb. But overall, like, she's also not that bad. She's all about food. She loves food. That's her deal. Oh, that's right. I can't light fires here. I don't think I can use this either. Like, no. Okay. I think I probably gotta go fight Ava before I do that. But yeah, so basically, like I said, her character is pretty good. I like her. She's fairly basic, but still a good character. And this is kind of an important plot point because it essentially leads into who the main character ends up with at the end, which is that he actually, like, 10 years ago when he was a kid, ran into one of them. The thing is, he doesn't know which one it was, because back then they all, like, looked, I mean, they still looked the same, but, like, they even wore, like, they wore the same clothes, their hair in the same way, all of that. So he doesn't know which one of them it is, he just knows it's one of them. And basically, like, he's pretty much, he pretty much says, like, yeah, like, the only girl I'm into is that girl that I met, like, 10 years ago. That's the only one I want. And so it's like, basically now it's the question is, okay, which one of them was it? Which one of them is the chosen one? And that's the one he ends up together with. And the problem about the great thing about the manga is that there is, like, so much development with most of the girls. However, the one that wins is the one with the least development with the main character, and that is Yotsuba. She ends up winning. She ends up really kind of surprisingly confessing to the main character, because you never get the impression that she's actually in love with him. You also never get the impression that he's in love with her until, I believe it was actually Itsuki who told him, okay, yeah, this doesn't work. Until he's told that, yeah, Yotsuba was the one who met you all those years ago. She's the one. It's a shitty... Well, that's the thing. It wasn't a shitty romance manga up until that point. It really wasn't, because there was, like, a fair chance for most of the characters. Like, Nino and Miku were obviously, like, the top two, where people said, like, okay, it's most likely going to be one of them. Ichiko was still a possibility, though I'm sure it would have pissed a lot of people off. Am I sure? I am sure. I read the whole thing. You could argue that it's shitty now because of what happened, and I would agree with you. And it's like, it's so fucking dumb, right? It's so fucking stupid because you get like, you get so many, like you get 5 different girls, right? That are like, they're all different. All 5 of them are like completely different. They almost all of them get a great arc with the main character, except one. And then that one wins. And there were so many people. There were so many goddamn people that were so pissed off by that, which understandably so, because it's fucking bullshit. You get like, you get so many chapters of like, oh, will he go for Nino? Will he go for Miku? Maybe Ichika will win. Who fucking knows? Maybe we'll get some bullshittery with Itsuki. We don't know yet. And then to be fucking smacked in the face with a character that is basically like absent for most of the series, that's massive fucking bullshit. And it put me in such a sour mood for like a lot of like new romance manga, because it's like, why the fuck would you do that, right? Yeah, and I don't understand it, because it's like, there were so, like, if any of the other 5 would have won, I would have said, like, yeah, okay, fair, like, if Nino would have won, I would have said, alright, totally fine, I can see that, they definitely had the most development, like, she definitely had the most character development, and also development with the main character. Miku would have been sort of the obvious choice, because she was, you know, she's kind of, she's sort of like the shy childhood friend character, but not really a childhood friend. Ichika would have been upsetting, I think, for a lot of people. I feel like a lot of people would have hated that if that would have happened. Because she's just that much of a bitch. And like Itsuki, I feel like from the beginning she was kind of set up to be the one, but the writer changed their mind. If that makes any sense, I don't know. That's the way it felt to me. Could have been worse, could have been his sister. I mean, his sister is like 8. So no. But I know what you mean. But it's like, like having it be the character who has like the least romantic build-up with the main character, and just for the reason that like she was the one who met him all those years ago, it just fucking sucks, right? Because it's like you wait so long for the payoff, and then you get nothing, right? You get like complete bullshit like that, and it's like, it could have broken the mold. It could have been like one of the romance mangas that ended well. And I mean, I guess, you know, there will always be people who complain and say like, oh, it's always worst girl that wins, even when it's factually not worst girl. Introduce a new story element as an excuse for why this happens. Is it's a thing. Well, it's not a new story element. It is like mentioned that he did meet one of them when they were kids. It's just that they all looked the same because back then they dressed and acted the same, all 5 of them. So that's why like that's why he can't figure out which one of them it is until one of them tells him. So it's like it's justified in that. okay, he did say he was only in love with the one that he met all the way back when they were kids, but it's like you would think that the development over the time they spent together would be more important than whatever fucking bullshit like happened 10 years ago. Because it's like, because the only like truly romantic development you could argue that Yotsuba has with the main character is that there's an episode where they're basically like, they're all thinking of what to get him for his birthday, and basically all of them come to the conclusion that they should just give him a kiss for his birthday. And Yotsuba is the only one who goes like, oh, I don't know, maybe I should like, I don't know, I should give him something he would like, right? And then, I mean, by the end, like, and by the end of it, because they were like eating chocolate or cake or whatever, and he's got like a little bit of it stuck on his cheek, she basically ends up kissing him on the cheek. And it's like, but it's not in a romantic way, right? At all. At least it's not portrayed as that. And it's like, that's the only development that she really has with him. And it's not even like, it's not even anything proper, right? Like, a kiss might be a big deal if she actually kissed him because she was in love with him, but she didn't. So it's like, yeah. I was hoping it would break the mold of worst girl always winning. But I mean, ultimately, I don't like. I mean, I know what I expected, right? And I'm sad it didn't come to fruition. But it's like, when I read that, I was so fucking pissed. It was one of the first times where I genuinely like felt fucking betrayed by a mangaka, right? I was like, man. I spent so long reading this for this shit. It's just like, yeah. Not good, not enjoyable. It started off as such a great series, and then the fact that it turned into this bullshit is super sad. I don't, you know, I don't like it. I was super pissed when I first found that out. I mean, the ending, even when they're all at his wedding, they're like, it basically ends with them all going on on their honeymoon together. So there's people just going like, he's probably still fucking all 5 of them. He's just married to one. It's like Hamilton, but with 2 sisters. Oh, with 5 sisters instead of 2. Well, I guess Peggy exists, but she's not really. You're officially legal now. Oh, did you do the flight thing? Boar's Bride, what? Just a girl who loves wild boars. I bet you want that on a t-shirt, Zach, right? I'll read the JoJolian ending when I get back. Just a second. Alright, there we go, I'm back. Let's see. Let's see how JoJolion ended. Where's the controller? There we go. Essentially, JoJolion in Chapter 110 showed a bit of a thing with the guardrail that was going on with Lucy Steelett. Also revealed that Fumi, a character in JoJolion, was the alternate universe Joseph Joestar. Okay. And that goes on. Then it reveals that... That goes on. Then it reveals that was a flashback and that Lucy Steele had died of lung cancer 3. Okay, so like lung cancer in the 3rd stage or what? Oh no, 3 years after the event. That kind of explains how the alternate universe Hagashikata family arrived at Morio and all that, and it goes to the present day. Some other stuff happens, don't want to keep going on, things that are just rambling in story. I guess Gappy sees Josefumi Kujo's mother and thinks to talk to her but decides not to. And Josuke and Yasuo go to get a cake to celebrate Norisuke being discharged from the hospital, and they let Gappy choose the cake as a way of showing he's truly part of the family now, ending on a happy note. That sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty good. I like, sadly I don't get most of it. Like I said, I didn't read JoJolion too much yet, but I mean, it was bound to have a happy ending with what Araki said, right? With what Araki said about why he wanted to end part 8, right? Ola, how are they? I don't know how they are, but I'm pretty good. Oh shit. I mean, you know, we were due for another good ending in JoJo, weren't we? What the fuck? My weapon just got stuck on my Estus flask. Hell yeah. Don't understand me. Well, I'm sorry. I don't speak Spanish. Yeah, you know, like, it's the thing about, like, so many manga and so many anime. I don't know, I feel like they all, at one point, just end up turning to shit. Decided to rebel in middle school and take French. Worst mistake of my life. Yeah, there you go. That's what you get for speaking that wretched language. There we go, I have the priestess. And now we can actually go fight Ava, because we'll be able to see her. And then we can run through the fucking whole area again. Just trying to... Oh my god. Oh, fuck off. Just trying to get all the items that are in here, because there are a lot. Woke up like 2 minutes ago, bye. Alright, see you. See you later then, maybe. Yeah, I don't know, like, a lot of manga, I feel, or a lot of anime, just kind of tend to end really stupidly these days, or like just all kind of end up turning to shit at some point, right? Like, you guys are aware with my, or you guys are aware of my my opinion on My Hero Academia, and it's like that's kind of, you know, that's kind of what it is at this point. A lot of stuff that just ends up turning to shit, and it sucks because you get invested into in a story, and then it ends up becoming trash at some point because, I don't know, the writer, you know, like with Attack on Titan, because the writer all of a sudden thinks like, oh yeah, this is important to do now, we gotta do this. Yeah, like Deku and his 7-8 quirks. It's fucking bullshit, right? Because it's like, you ruin what the character is about by doing that. You destroy what the character is about. Like, what was clearly the most likable thing about him. Just to turn him into another, like... into another chosen one. And I dislike that. That's why it's important to stop when you need to. Exactly. It's like... Same thing with Dragon Ball, right? Like, there has to be a point when you say, okay, stop. And if you want to continue, then with another character, or with, you know, with spin-offs or something like that, or like tell stories of side characters. The best thing about him before was when he was just an ordinary kid, essentially. He thought heroes were cool and liked learning about them. Well, that's the thing, right? Like, his entire character was basically built around the idea that he was born without a quirk, and now he got one because of his personality, because he was bestowed one for the fact that he has, like, a true hero spirit. And then that gets taken away by the idea that, he's the chosen one, because if it weren't him, nobody else would be able to unlock all of the 14 quirks. And it's just like... It sucks because you're removing what made the characters stand out from the rest of, like, all shonen characters. Which is the idea that he was just at the right place he was in the right place at the right time. And he showed that even though he doesn't have a quirk, he's still got the spirit to actually be like a real hero. And you don't get that a lot with characters these days. Like, usually it'll be pretty generic, which, you know, sometimes that's okay. Sometimes it's fine to just get like a standard shonen main character. Like, I love Black Clover, for example. It's not particularly extraordinary or anything in terms of storytelling and in terms of the setting and whatnot, but what it is good at is character development, and that makes it... This motherfucker. That makes it, that makes it so special to me, because it's not like your average anime where, you know, a lot of things in Black Clover are still predictable, but there's a lot of characters, or there's a lot of times when characters just get, like, really good arcs to their stories, and it feels like they've earned all their power-ups, basically. Like, when Noelle... I've showed you guys her, like, water Valkyrie outfit. When she gets that power-up, it feels earned because we've seen her go through, like, so and so many episodes of struggling and of training to use her magic properly. And you know, like I said, it feels earned. But Deku, I almost said Goku. Deku just getting 7 quirks just because is... like, it's shit because it destroys what the character is about, basically. Not gonna lie, from what I've seen, the ones with the more generic plots turn out better than the ones with unique plots. At least we won't be disappointed. Well, usually the reason why that is because when you're doing something like relatively generic, you can kind of focus more on stuff that usually isn't focused on, right? Like when you do when you write a story with like a simple plot, you can focus more on the characters maybe, or you can focus more on the world building or something like that, right? And it's like that on its own can turn a series from a 5 out of 10 to like an 8 out of 10, because it's just something that like not a lot of manga are, you know, are focused on, like the world building or character development. Like character development, yes, but more on like a very surface level. And I feel like that's oftentimes very important as well, like to just remember that these are characters, whether they're human or not, but they have personalities, and so they should be able to evolve those personalities or even change them if need be as the story goes along. Like, you know, it's very rare when somebody like completely stays the same, especially after going through like a lot of shit, right? If that makes any sense. And it's just like, yeah, we could use more stories that are focused more on character development rather than just like, you know, going forward with the story and having cool fights and whatever. Although I will say the fights in Black Clover are spectacular. Like, my story sounds like a basic magical girl story, but you can do many things with the characters and the world around them. Yeah, because it's like, because you're not like necessarily focused on where the story is supposed to go. Like, obviously you are, like that's normal, but you're aware that like this was, for example, this was the same for me when I rewrote The Devil's Advocate. Like, yeah, it's not a super special story or anything, but like I know what I'm doing with it, and I wanted to give all of the characters like plenty of time to be fleshed out.
To think who are this curse which gave until my it was and could but the
Yeah.
my dear Lord, I haven't, though I am yet to know your name. Kind visitor, I thank you. Let me open and please.
There we go. It's a silly story, but it makes me happy, and I know what the hell I'm doing. Yeah, that's important, right? That's important because it's like, it's one thing.
Faithful knights follow their lord into the chaos.
It's important to keep in mind that like characters aren't just supposed to be like blank slates with like one or two with one goal, and then once that goal is reached, they basically just, because like that happens a lot too, where main characters just become like a mouthpiece for the writer to go like, yeah, main character Kun is right because he's main character. And you know, there's a whole other like conversation to be had about like main characters in general and how they should behave. Like I think I've mentioned this before when I talked about Attack on Titan back when I still liked it. That I enjoyed Aaron's character because he was like driven, like, you know, he may have been like somewhat generic, sure, but I liked the fact that he was adamant and like always like hooked on the fact that like he wanted to kill all the Titans, right? So much so that it made it possible for him to control his Titan even, right? His Titan form, I mean. And it's like, I don't mind a generic setting. Because, you know, usually when the setting is, like, something that you can, usually when the setting is something that you're already in some form or way or shape are familiar with, you can much more focus on the characters themselves and like the story, because a setting and a basic story outline might be generic or not overdone, but more like just something you've seen before. But I think it very much depends on what you do with characters and how you advance the plot rather than what the plot actually entails, right? Like, obviously it should all make sense in the end, and it should all come together as like a full circle kind of thing. But I think you can, like, I think a good writer, like, really it just comes down to like the quality of your writing, right? Like, a good writer can make a basic story seem like the best thing in the world just by the way that they write that story. Still a story about it. Oh yeah, right. Like my story, Millennium Tales, to some degree, people could see it as basic in some ways, but I want to make it a more intricate story if you look deeper into its world and characters. If only I could actually get to writing it. Imagine having your mom be killed by a Titan Man. What a loser, right? The most intricate and deep character, Purple Fire, that killed Goku, canon real, definitely. Ah, yes, I remember. That's my favorite character. Yeah, but that's it, right? Like, there's the story that I'm writing right now that you know, that I shared the first chapter and the Cucumber Rick joke with you guys with. It's a pretty basic story. However, I see it as something that if I put as much thought into it as I can and like try to make it unique, I think I can pull it off, even though, like I said, it's most likely going to be a fairly, like, in setting anyway, like a kind of a generic story, basically. Ashlyn can solo Goku, I believe that. I believe that. Like I said, you know, it's more about, like, how good you are as a writer and, like, how well you're able to tell your story rather than what the story itself is actually about. Because, you know, most of the time when a generic story is told, it's also told by, like, a generic person who doesn't, like any Marvel, any superhero movie, right? Like in the last couple of years has been like basically more of the same, right? And even the ones that I enjoyed, you know, stuff like Iron Man, for example, or Guardians of the Galaxy, even those things are relatively generic, right? But thanks to characters and thanks to, like, different aspects of the writing and such, they turn into really, like, enjoyable experiences for me, because there were clearly people behind there that knew what they were doing. And that's such an important thing, like, to know what you are writing and to know what you want to keep doing with a story. Like, to know that, yeah, sure, this may not be the most original thing in the world, but I can write it in such a way that people will still, like, that it'll still be memorable, right? Nice. Like, just look at the amount of stories that are isekai, but they're, like, but the main character is overpowered. There's billions of stories like that, and you would think, like, that kind of plot is super boring and super contrived at this point, and it's basically, like, all just kind of a shitty ripoff of One Punch Man, but with video game world. Oh god, Sonic! Oh, fuck off. Even implemented my attempts to write it in previous... What? Even implemented my attempts to write... Oh. It in previous forms into the current form of the story. Having Fighter and Aro as past versions as an interpretations of Fiora, right? Yeah, but then you get variations like the anime with the funny slime man. You mean the anime with the guy who turns into a slime woman? Yes. Yeah, like... If you can... And that's what I mean, right? It's like, it's a very generic setting and a relatively generic story, but because the writer is putting some thought into it, and because the writer clearly knows what they're doing, they can make it a unique experience. And that's what I mean. It's like, if you're a good writer, it doesn't matter how generic the setting is. Like, you can still make it enjoyable. And I like to think that I've managed to do that with the stories that I've written. After the first part of Total Chaos. Although even with that one, it's like, towards the ending, it gets better. The funny time that person became Jello. Something I like in my story is that I can kind of do whatever and just say, oh, it's in the dream realm because anything can happen there. Like, I make my characters go to fucking space and one of them gets a space alien GF because I can. Yeah, it's like, it's always important, I think, even with that, though, to keep in mind that, like, there has to be a limit in some form, but, yeah, I mean, you know, if that's going to be, like, your setup, then, yeah, you can definitely kind of bend the possibilities that exist even more, right? It's like, you don't have to stick to one specific thing. And that's totally fine, right? If you want to go off on a zany, wacky adventure in the dreamscape, then fuck yeah, right? Because it opens possibilities that other magical girl shows wouldn't have, right? Like, with Tropi Rouge right now. With Tropi Rouge right now, like, they've got to stick with the summer setting, right? Like, there's not a whole lot of other things they can do, but if it's like a dream setting or whatever, yeah, you can do pretty much whatever you want. The fuck? Fab the Movie 2021. Imagine doing that and then the eyes open. Uh-oh. It's my favorite Snow Miku. I'd be excited. Then into the jar. Oh no.
I quickly became homophobic. Hating on gay people, I quickly became homophobic. Hating on gay people became part of my lifestyle.
Hell yeah. Based. With written, mine's a generic, it's like the real world, but with this one interesting thing. Heck, it wears its superhero reference on its sleeve. Again, like, it's fine, right? There's no, I don't think there's a reason to make up a crazy like special world with billions of different races and shit. Like, I know a lot of people shit on like a lot of fantasy stuff for just, you know, using elves and dwarves and goblins and shit. But it's like, why not use, like, you've got a good template that works from so many previous writers, right? Like, not everything, you don't have to turn everything into like a super special, never seen before thing, because that shit is difficult anyway, right? Like, I noticed that with Total Chaos, like, I actively have to, like, remember the fact that, because I had a lot of ideas, but that I couldn't implement into part 1. And that's fine, because, you know, part 2 is gonna happen in 400 years, when I'm still alive. And you know, I have the time to explain, but it's something I have to keep in mind that, like... Sorry, I had to adjust my headphones there. It's something that I have to keep in mind that, like, the different aliens and different races that exist is, like... Yeah, that's something I gotta explain. That's something I haven't shown yet, but I will show, and I have to make it work. And it's, like, it's difficult to do that, because... You have to make, like, not only do you have to make it make sense in terms of... Okay, come on. Not only do you have to have it make sense in terms of, consistency within the specific race, but then, you know, I have to think of a lot of, like, extra stuff as well. Like, okay, what could these, like, what is possible to do for these aliens and what is not possible to do? Because obviously you can't just write, like, some shit. And then the problem oftentimes is I don't even get to elaborate on those, which is why I've also been thinking of just, like, writing kind of like a spin-off book. Like, I did kind of, specifically with Total Chaos, make it easier on myself with the journal idea, where it basically, basically the idea is that the main antagonist has this journal where he details all of, like, the information that he found out about the universe that he created while traveling through it, right? And it's like, with that, I could very much just, like, explain a bunch of stuff, but then still, like, that would still be, like, outside of the main story. Most of my races are pretty simple because they're not the main focus. They're somewhat the main focus to a degree in Total Chaos. It, like, not in an overarching sense, necessarily. Mostly just in... Mostly just in the sense that they're there, and it's like, it's kind of a point of, hey, it's not just humans in this universe. Which only really becomes, like, it becomes important, I suppose, by part 2 already. Although, granted, there's already aliens in part 1, so it's not like they don't exist there, but it's, you know... Of course, you can always hit him with the good old, hey, this race of aliens has been genocided, which, I mean, to be fair, is kind of a central part of the plot for Total Chaos, at least for part 1, is that there's many alien races that have already been deleted. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's, basically, the main villain is trying to destroy the universe that he created for reasons which I will not disclose at this moment. And he's already, like, started. So he's already game-ended a couple races. Not just a couple, but... Yeah, he realized everyone in the universe was cringe. I mean, kind of. That's a less eloquent way of saying it, I suppose. It's not inaccurate. He's like, bruh. Y'all niggas is cringe. Time to hit the reset button. Come on. Ah. Oh, no, he did hit me. It just didn't do any damage. Oh. Most of my races are pretty simple because they're not the main focus. I mean, that's fair too, right? Like, that's totally... That's totally... I get that as well. If you want to look into interdimensions, it focuses on Core's investigative work, family, and life, because due to the nature of dimensional guardians, he's stupid powerful. Time to be like Shulk and pull a Prue gamer move by killing God. I mean, yeah. I mean, he is, like, the main antagonist is basically God. And one of the big reveals that I'm not going to go through about the universe itself is, kind of unique, I suppose, in a way. Which, opens up a lot of possibilities for... I mean, it doesn't open up a lot of possibilities anymore because Total Chaos is... in its entirety is basically finished. But, I can't believe Fab was the main antagonist. Well, I'm not God. Oh, well, you mean because well, yeah. I was both main character and antagonist. Hell yeah. How did I do it? We'll never know. Oh, I should have not... I should not have... I am the god of my own works. I suppose that's true. But to be fair, I never see, like, even when I use, like, Fab as a main character, I never see that as myself, per se, right? Like, of course there will be, like, there will be parts of my personality and parts of me that are in there, but it's never, like, I don't ever consider that to be, like, me fully. Even when I wrote, like, The Devil's Advocate, where... there's a lot of aspects of my life in there. Like a lot of my real life friends being characters and whatnot. I never connect the dots to like, that is me. It's just like, the potential that is there is like, that I could say like, oh, that's potentially a version of me that I could be. It's like a version I'd like to be. Maybe. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like, there, you know, there's a lot of discourse around, you know, stuff like that, like self-insert characters, kind of. But it's like, for me, it's never... For me, the idea is never that I want to be the character. It's just that it's like, I don't know why. I like, there's no need for me to use my own likeness technically, but I still do it anyway. Although granted, it is only for like, it is like generally only for, oh, you fucker, god damn it, you piece of shit. It is only for like Total Chaos Part 1 and 2, The Devil's Advocate, and then that new story I'm writing. Other than that, like the 3 or 4 other stories that I have in mind, they all have like separate main characters, right? I don't know. I don't like, if you can make a self-insert character, like if you can still write them as a regular character, right? I lost my train of thought there. If you can still write a self-insert character as like a regular character, which is not something you see often, because usually it's by people who just want to write a story that is basically like Dante's Inferno, where everything goes their way and nobody hates them ever and everybody loves them forever and ever and ever. And it's like, that's not the kind of story I ever want to write. It's like, I want to write characters that have flaws. I want to write characters that have like a lot of peculiarities about themselves. Like, I want to write characters that aren't perfect, because nobody is, right? And it's like, that's sort of the that's sort of the idea and the route that I want to take with stuff like that. Like, sure, it may be like the character has my likeness or whatever, and I use my nickname to name the character, but it's, you know, it's not me, and that's why, like, I write them as like a character that is separate from me, because, and again, you know, there are some aspects of a character that are like me, like some of the beliefs that they hold, or some of the ideas and the things that they would do, like if I were in that situation, maybe similar, but it's never to the point where I want to write this perfect character who can do no wrong and is always right and isn't, like, doesn't have any flaws. I don't know. I don't enjoy characters that are like perfect, basically, right? Like, there's no fun to be had in a character that can literally do everything. Like, even when reading something like Solo Leveling or One Punch Man, like, Saitama has his own flaws too, right? He's not like, he you know, he's basically invincible, has super strength, and can like, just absolutely a superhuman, but it's like, he's still got his own flaws, right? Like, he's kind of a dumbass. He's like, he's always focused on shit that's not really that important. He's always bored with fights and shit. He's never in the right place at the right time until he just kind of suddenly shows up, right? And it's like, those are still flaws. Uh-oh. Oh, hey, look, it's him. He's back. Die. Okay, that didn't really do that much damage. And like I said, whoa, what the fuck? Like I said, you know, like what's important to me is that a character, while of course can be like still really powerful and can have like a crazy backstory, to me it's important that they're like still, at least to a degree, a believable person. And I think the most believable thing for any person is that they're, you know, that they have their own flaws, right? Like that they do things sometimes that ends up getting them in trouble or whatever, right? Like, for example, my main character in The Devil's Advocate Relit, he's like a very easygoing character. He's like, you know, despite his backstory, he like will insist at all times that like he had a completely normal life, even though it's like not true at all. And that usually like ends up, or like, you know, whenever he does something that can be considered nice to other people, he doesn't mention it to anyone ever. Or like something like his adoptive father like bugs him about like getting a job and shit like that, you know, which is obviously like totally fine. But like, for example, he never tells anybody that he's actually had a job for like a few years now, and that like it's actually going pretty well and like shit like that. And he's, you know, he's also kind of a bit of a dumbass. He's like way too quick to get angry sometimes. He will be completely fine with doing crazy shit like sacrificing an arm or two if it means winning the fight. And it's like, then it's on the other characters to you know, like tell him that like, hey, don't do that shit, that's fucking cringe. Or it's like, you know, people will give him shit because he doesn't like clearly, like he will clearly say what he's thinking, but it's not understandable to like the new characters in the mix, right? It's like, without giving away too much, like there's, for example, there's a character who ends up essentially like betraying the main character, who like I mean, I can, you know, like basically what ends up happening is there's kind of a discourse in the main group of friends, and the said character ends up like basically joining forces with the main character's brother, who is, as you may assume, a bad guy. Like, not like Billie Eilish, but almost as bad. And the idea is that basically, like, the main character and his brother have a big old fight, and the wager, or like the prize in that fight is basically, you know, like if the brother wins, then that character like stays with him and like becomes part of his team. But then the main character says like, all right, well, if I win, then my friend gets to choose who he wants to stay with. So like Liquid and Solid Snake, I mean, yeah, it's just that it's 7 liquids. Well, no, it's 6 liquids and 1 solid. And it's basically like the main character is like, yeah, all right. Like, he's pretty big on the idea that people should be allowed to do whatever, like, people should be allowed to choose whatever they want to do as long as it doesn't, like, harm anybody else. And so he just goes like, yeah, you know, if I win, you get to fucking choose, like, who you want to stay with, right? And what ends up happening is, of course, the main character ends up, like, narrowly winning. However, the said, you know, traitor, quote-unquote, character ends up choosing to stick with the brother anyway. And then there's like this whole, like, which basically caps off one of the more major arcs of the story, which is basically like, all right, well, we gotta go to hell and save this dude. And then, like, the, you know, often the question comes up of like, well, but you said that it was fine for him to choose who to stay with, right? And basically the main character goes, yeah, and he chose, but he hesitated. He didn't, like, it makes more sense if you read, like, if you read the whole hold on. It makes more sense if you've, like, kind of read the whole thing up to that point and get a better grasp of, like, the main character's personality, or generally just the character's personalities. But basically, the idea is that, like, the main character's willingness to, like, let people do whatever the fuck they want puts them into, like, way more danger than there should be. Like, you know, and I like that kind of stuff when, like, when the main character's personality or his, like, motto or his mantra kind of causes problems because of how contradictory it is sometimes, right? I like that kind of stuff. It's always refreshing to see. And it's that kind of things that happens, right? Like, it's basically they end up getting caught up, again, for better or for worse, in a bunch of shit, like, because they have to go to hell to save the guy. And they get caught up in, like, a bunch of other shit that isn't even relevant to them wanting to save their friend. And it just ends up with them, like, getting beaten and bruised to shit and, like, barely winning. But, you know, it's stuff like that that I enjoy, where it's like, I don't know. It's just things that, like, where okay, it's not just, okay, let's go to this place and save this guy because he joined the villain, I don't know, because he was deceived. It's more like just the guy joined the villain because he felt bad about, like he felt too embarrassed to go back with the main character and shit like that. And it allows for more of a, I think it allows for, like, a better way of cementing somebody's relationship, like two characters' relationships. If that makes any sense, because, you know, it's totally normal for friends to have a fight, right? Like, that's a completely normal thing. And that is something I wanted to incorporate in The Devil's Advocate too, like, just to show that even a group of, like, even a tightly knit group of friends that have known each other for years can, like, have a falling out like this over something specific, right? Like, that, and that's the kind of stuff that's important to me, like character relations within a story. It's like, not the characters shouldn't just be, like, text boxes that sometimes, you know, converse with each other just to move the plot forward. I feel like there should be some personality and some history behind there. And oftentimes it ends up, like, that kind of stuff ends up happening in, like, in this isn't where I want it to be, in, like, not, like, minor arcs, but, like, side arcs, basically. Like, not necessarily the main quest, which is kill your siblings and become Satan, but I don't know. I think I wrote a very enjoyable story. Like, I've gotten a lot of feedback on it as well from other friends, right? And they said that they loved what they had read so far, and I can't wait to send them more and have them, like, read it for me and tell me what they think. That's important to me, right? Like, I feel like there's much more enjoyment in flawed characters and, like, relationships that waver here and there than just in main character Kun is perfect and we all fight for him because he's main character. Liquid, thickwood, stickwood, bickwood, nickwood, solidus, and solid. Yes. That's not even inaccurate. Technically. I love their, like, molten look. Ashlyn is someone who does not care if she throws her life away as long as someone else is safe. That's how she became the first magical girl, too. She also can't think things through at all that well, and is also stupid. Is this character you? Is this just you? Oh, God. I'm kidding, of course. No, you love your life too much? I guess that's fair. Yeah, but, like, you know, it's stuff like that that I enjoy, right? Like, I enjoy characters that won't waver in their like view of the world, despite, like, the fact that it may be contradictory, and that some character will point out that it's contradictory, right? Like, there's a scene, like, there's many scenes like that I wrote in The Devil's Advocate, where, like, there's a lot of characters that basically like completely question the main character's philosophy because it makes no sense from their standpoint, and oftentimes they're not even wrong about that, because, you know, every philosophy has, like, a darker side to it as well. But it's that kind of stuff that's important to me, like, to convey that, sure, like, the evil character may be correct in their like, in them saying that the main character's motivation doesn't make any sense, but, or from a specific standpoint doesn't make any sense, but, you know, I think it's still normal for the main character in that case then to still remain like firm with their motivation, because, you know, it's the typical thing of, like, because, for example, this I can say because it's not that big of a spoiler, but basically the main character says that, like, he doesn't like, or, like, he considers people who hurt and kill and, like, basically just harm others to advance them, like, to advance their own lives, he considers those people to be, like, true sinners, right? Rather than whatever is, like, the status quo of what a sinner is in the story. And you know, it's then often brought up by other characters that, like, well, okay, but you also, like actually end up killing people, and you're killing your brothers and you're killing other demons. And he's like, yeah, I know, and that like that also makes me a terrible person. But like my goal is basically I can't say that because that's spoilers then. But basically, like, he sees it as a means to an end, and he also says that one day when he dies, he's ready to, like, accept his punishment for all the bad shit he did. And he'll gladly take that punishment, right? And that was, well, like, one of the things that I felt was extremely important for that specific character. Like, he realizes that what he's doing is bad, and he sees it as a means to an end, but like he doesn't value life less because of it, right? Like, he still understands that, yeah, okay, these demons are basically also just doing their job and trying to kill me. My siblings are sort of in their right to try and kill me as well. And it like, another thing is, like, which I'm like surprised I managed to write in a these demons are based, yeah. No, but like, I was surprised by the fact that I actually managed to write this in a consistent fashion, is that the main character never instigates fights. Like, that's it. Like, his one criterion for fighting and hurting and killing somebody else is they have to attack me or the people I love first. Otherwise, I won't fight them. And that also causes a lot of problems sometimes, because of course that means that the only time when he will ever fight somebody is when something's already happened, right? And it's like, but you know, usually the other person will already have done something horrible to like warrant the main character attacking anyway and fighting anyway. Or, you know, like the somewhat generic, like, oh, what are you trying to, like, look at you, you're a devil trying to be a hero, and he's like, I'm not a fucking hero, I'm just trying to make, I'm just trying to make the world a better place. Well, that, like, not that literal in the literal sense. I don't know, I just wanted to write someone with kind of a more realistic outlook on life, and I think I did manage to do that. Because, you know, everybody has ideals, and oftentimes, even in the real world, those ideals are often conflicting or contradictory or whatever. Which, you know, is fine. That's... a lot of things in life are contradictory. That's totally okay. But to me, it was more so the idea that, like, yeah, the main character understands the way that the world works, like, right? Because there's, like, also, this is giving a lot away, but it's fine. You guys won't read it anyway. No, that's rude. I don't. That's a joke. Like, it's basically like there's a lot of talk about the balance of, like, heaven, hell, and, like, the, you know, the people place realm. And there's a lot of characters who are basically like, oh, well, you're just trying to destroy the balance, and you're just trying to destroy the rules of how the world works. And it's like, nah, man, I don't want to do that. I just want to do my part to make shit better, right? But, you know, People who stick by convictions and ideals in a way, exactly, yeah, such as Pharaoh's ideals of doing what's right for those you care for and those you know you can help, even if it's not seen as the thing heroes do, the good thing you work by your version of right. Yeah, exactly, stuff like that. But Pharaoh never really states that she's a hero. She doesn't see herself as one. She does what's right by her ideals. Yeah, exactly. With my character, some people on both sides don't want to fight the other, but they have to. If the princesses don't, then the worlds are destroyed. If the bad guys don't, then their paradise isn't born. Pharaoh is someone who, due to her very nature, something hardwired from being made to a being that should be evil. She has some things to her that's selfish and things she does for her own interest. Yeah, but like, I find that to be fine as well, right? Like, to basically, to end up, for a main character to doing something that's selfish, and like, this is then kind of like part of the ideology that I share, where it's like, oftentimes the main character will say like if there's something you want to do, even if it seems selfish, you know, just go and do it. Like, it's your life. You're the one who gets to decide what you do with your life. And if this is something you want to do, then go do it, even if it's selfish by other people's standards. Like, it's fine to be selfish sometimes, if you know, that's what it takes for you to be happy. Like I said, unless somebody is getting harmed in the process, but you know, like I said, it was important to me for the character to like be consistent in the idea that he's a very free spirit, and he's like very much does think that people, as long as they're not doing anything like terrible or to hurt others, that it's like fine for them to do whatever they want. Which is, you know, kind of in contrast with how I wrote the main character for Total Chaos, who was like, because the main character of TDA is more about like, there are very clearly defined, like, there's a very clearly defined idea of what is right and what is wrong, while the main character of Total Chaos is more, well, right and wrong lies in like the point of view of the beholder, right? Like sure, he may end up killing people that he thinks are evil, but those people have like families behind them, and like people that love them and people that care for them behind them. And, you know, like, is it fair to then still kill those people if there's others that love them, despite the fact that they've done some horrible shit? Whereas, like, the main character of TDA is more like, yeah, people do fucked up shit, and they have to be punished for it. Like, there's a very clear right, and there is a very clear wrong. And if they, you know, if they decide to do the wrong thing, then who gives them the right to live over those who they've hurt? It's shit like that, and it's like, that's important to me as like just a general focus of like, you know, of the story of like what can be defined as like good and bad, right? Like, because I kind of believe in both of those statements, right? Where it's like nobody is born evil, but everybody can choose to be evil. And at the same time, like, just because you have people who, you know, who love you and see what you do as the right thing doesn't mean that you are therefore somehow exempt from the rule of you can't do any bad because you've got people who agree with you, right? Like that's not how the world works. You know, just even within like self-inserts, having conflicting ideas I think is pretty interesting, because it kind of like it changes the outlook of what a character is like overall. Like the main character of Total Chaos hates killing, right? And it's like he won't do it. Like he doesn't want to do it, even if it like would potentially have to be, right? Like if somebody is so evil that they can't be redeemed, even then he doesn't want to do it, but he'll like, hey, it's like Steven Booniverse. And then like the main character of TDA is more like, yeah, there's people who are just that fucked up where they can't be redeemed, they don't want to be redeemed. Fuck them. And of course, you know, the main character of Total Chaos still ends up killing one or two people here and there, but it's not like he still hates it, basically, right? Still dislikes the idea of killing anyone. For well being someone selfish for herself or for people she cares about, she's also someone who hates having people do things selfish for her sake, especially if it could end up worse for others. This particular is something I brought up in an alternate universe. What if RP I'm doing with C10? The core fights are usually just people trying to make a living. Oh god. I'm trying to make a living. By which I mean I'm trying to stay a fucking live. Shit. Jesus. Pretty sure we're not actually supposed to be here anyway right now. Like, this is technically the final boss fight, and there is a way of making this easier. I'll try again one more time, but it's fine. Or actually, no, let's just go the other way, because we can go the other way. Then I can actually read chat as well. The being core fights are usually just people trying to make a living. The beings core fights is assuming what you mean. Or the being, yeah, well, whatever. Usually people trying to make a living against dimensional rules, e.g. selling tech or magic from an advanced dimension to a lower level without correct permits. So they are not always bad people, but she's got to take them in anyway because they're breaking a law. Yeah, it's like, and I like that kind of stuff too, like the dilemma of, do I act based on what's moral, or do I act based on like what is my duty, right? That's the kind of stuff I like seeing explored as well. It usually like turns out with the character going along more with the morals part rather than the duty part. But it's still a very interesting like concept to think about and use as a character's like motivation, or well, maybe not motivation, but as what defines them, basically, like as their arc. That's the great thing about writing, is that there's really no limits. You can basically make anything happen. I enjoy, you know, I enjoy writing characters with different, like main characters with different and conflicting worldviews. Like there's another story that I was working on that is technically finished, but I have to go over it again, with a main character who is part of a clan of people who believe that nature do I say this? Like, they're druids, basically, but, like, not standard. Not the standard kind. Basically, like, their magic is based on, like, using the elements in the world, but, like, not, oh, shit. Basically, they believe that, like, humans are part of nature, and therefore, like, it is very much, like, no, how to, like, they themselves, the druids are, like, they believe that they basically only, like, they're the only ones who have the right to, like, use, like, magic connected to, like, the earth and such, you know, like the elements and whatever. But, like, for themselves, they believe that, like, yeah, it's fine for the druids to, like, you know, use Earth's magic and Earth's resources as they wish, because they're part of, like, they're part of nature. They're, like, you know, they're part of Mother Nature as the human race, basically. Which is kind of contradictory, because obviously other humans are also part of the human race. But the idea is basically that it's not that they believe themselves to be, like, a superior race, but it's just they believe themselves to be closer to nature, because they've studied, like, magic. You know, it's a world where basically everyone can do magic as long as they study it hard enough. And they believe that because they spend, like, so many, because they spend so many years, like, studying not only magic itself, but, like, its origins and nature itself, they basically believe that they should be the only ones using magic because, well, they're the ones who are closest to nature, right? Like, they're the ones who put the time and the effort into learning about nature and the world's magic. So, like, why should others be why should others be able to use that kind of, like, why should others be able to use magic that is, like, tied to nature, sort of, right? The magic system is, like, a bit more open in that story, but it's basically, like, there's like there's like 4 different kinds of magic, so to speak. There's the natural and the supernatural, which is basically, like, the natural is, like, you know, elements and basically, you know, things that you can find on Earth. Like, there's, you know, there's plant magic, fire magic, water magic, ice, like, everything you can find on Earth. And then there's the supernatural, which is basically, it's abilities that aren't considered to be normal, even by the standards of, like, a world with magic. Like, the ability to I like how Knuts is just doing a little shimmy and not opening the door. It's because of the chest here. You know, abilities that are basically, like, that you wouldn't find in the, like, in the world regularly. Like, I don't know, like, somebody being able to regenerate their body, like, you know, like, being able to being able to grow back a limb or whatever, that kind of stuff, or you know, being able to raise the dead, that kind of shit. So it's like, you know, it's like the natural and the supernatural, and then the other 2 criteria, or the other 2, like, types are the physical and the spiritual, and basically the physical is just like, yeah, like actually being able to interact with the world and shit like that, and the spiritual is more like, yeah, with the spirit, like interacting with the spirit world and interacting with, you know, ghosts and shit like that. The point that I'm trying to make, though, is that the main character is basically, like, he's not, he spent a lot of time with the druids, but his view of the world is that, like, yes, we're, like, the druids are part of nature, and, like, magic and all that shit is also part of nature. However, every human is part of nature, therefore everyone has a right to using magic. And it kind of goes against, like, most of the world's idea of, like, oh, well, like, but like, we're the witches and we only use, it's not natural and supernatural, it's worldly and otherworldly is what the magics were. But basically, like, oh yeah, we're the witches and we're the only ones who are allowed to use, like, otherworldly magic, right? And it's like, everybody's kind of an elitist about their magic, which is very funny. But generally, like, the main character believes, like, oh hey, like, magic is there for everybody. Everybody should be able to use it. But then he of course is also aware of the fact that there are people who will gladly just use magic to hurt others. It's not like he, you know, doesn't know or anything. How much damage does this do? Okay, well, none. That much, huh? And I enjoy that kind of stuff too, right? Like where characters will, you know, just have their own view. Like, I always enjoy a character that has their own view of the world, right? Like, that doesn't conform with any kind of, like, generally accepted opinion. But I also simultaneously enjoy, you know, whenever there's, like, a character that belongs to the church or whatever, who doesn't, well, the church of the, like, world within the story, who, you know, believes in the god of that world or whatever. Like, I enjoy when that person's will isn't, or, like, belief isn't shaken just by seeing some dumb shit sometimes, right? Like, I feel like a lot of the time when stories like that are written, where, like, religious characters exist, they're always very quickly turned away from that religion upon meeting the main character. And I'm like, well, I don't know. I feel like a person wouldn't really just change their belief that easily. You know, and whether that is for better or for worse, you know, is can be left open, but I think, you know, some consistency in what you believe in is pretty important. Like, just because one bad thing happened, you're not going to, like, completely change your view of the world, right? Like, that doesn't really... Maybe if it's something incredibly major, then sure, but even then, it's like, I feel like a lot of people would still end up, like, at least to some degree connected in their belief. Like, what's funny, it was played off more as a joke in there, but what I found funny in High School DxD was how Ashia would still remain, like, faithful to God even though she'd been turned into a demon, and, like, that is completely contradictory, and it actively, like, hurt her whenever she prayed to God. But it made sense for somebody whose, like, entire life was basically, well, I grew up with the church, and, like, I grew up, you know, with the Lord at my side. Like, it would make more sense for a character like that not to be so quickly swayed towards not believing in whatever god exists in that universe. But maybe that's just me, I don't know. Maybe that is just me. Elitist hipster druids. I mean, I kind of... It's just that the druids are kind of the oldest magic users in the world. Well, in that world, anyway. But yeah, I mean, I guess it still sort of applies. Elitist hipster druids. Yeah, I mean... I couldn't find a better way to put it. Ultimately, though, all I want to say is... Publish your fucking stories, you assholes. I want to read them. I want to read Millennium Tales, I want to read Written. I want to read fucking... I don't even remember what Sack's story was called. But I want to read that one, too. I want to read whatever Floof is fucking doing. Tidor, you better start writing, too. I'm working on it, bitch. Fuck you. I want to read it now. Literally, this instant. But yeah, you know, and I, like, personally, I have to go through another rewrite. You mean rewrite? I know what you mean. You know, that, like, personally, I always enjoy people reading my stuff, right? Like, especially if it's my friends. Alright, fuck you, they all die at the end, good day. I don't believe you. Like I said, I always enjoy people reading my stuff, and that's why I always ask friends to, like, act kind of as, like, sort of editors for my stuff, you know, like me posting that new story I'm working on to you guys so you guys can read it, just because I want you guys to, like, tell me what you think, what you like about it, right? Like, what you don't like about it, what you would like to see. That kind of stuff is important to me because I enjoy, like, getting feedback from people who know me. And that, you know, that's why I always say, like, don't hold back with your feedback. Like, if there's something you think is dumb or weird or shouldn't be there, like, you know, let me know, because I want to know. That's really important to me. Yeah, right, they don't die at the end. Now I bet that they do. I mean, even if they do, it's not so much knowing what happens to them, but just the specific way and, like, the connection to the character you've made along the way. That's why I've never been bothered by people, like, telling me whenever a character dies, because it's like, well, sure, they die, but, like, what is their story? What is their, like, connection to the rest of the cast and stuff like that? Like, that's what I want to know. That's what's important to me. Not just, yeah, okay, I mean, they die, fair enough. But, like, why is it sad that they die? That's what I always want to know, right? Okay. You couldn't kill them off for good. You're not making this into an edgy story. Yeah, I mean, fair enough, right? Like, that's totally okay. I don't, like... In my opinion, you know, like, stories that end with, like, a good ending are usually more enjoyable to me anyway, right? Like, I'll enjoy an ending that is, like, bittersweet or sad or even, like, kind of bad, I suppose. Don't throw me off, please, if possible. Thank you. if it's like fitting, right? If it makes sense for the rest of the story as well. But like I always enjoy, you know, good endings. Alright, yeah, this is the way we gotta go then. Just activate this bonfire and then we can keep on running. There's like a bunch of chests in here still that I gotta get. Don't worry, the ending will be really sweet. As someone who always says that about his stories, I find it hard to believe you. But then again, I also know you, so I know you're not really... I know you're not the kind of person who likes to make themselves sad. Oh. Oh shit, that's a mimic. I only just now realized that, holy fuck. You're not me, are you? Well, no, but, you know. It could still happen. I don't know. Nah, but like I said, I know you're not the kind of person who likes to keep things sad for long. Oh, he barfed on me. You cuck. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because you'll start crying yourself. And it's like, well, you're all gonna be happy and gay at the end. See, when you say it like that... Nah, it's fine. I'm sure everything is going to be okay. But yeah, you know, like I said, I always enjoy hearing feedback from friends and like hearing friends tell me what they think about the story I wrote and stuff like that. It also helps me because like a lot of the time I will write something and like I won't really notice what is wrong with it, right? Like I always make mistakes and it's like I never... Yeah, Ball can't cook. But she can suck. Actually, I don't think that's true either. The fuck is this bitch doing? Well, I mean, being a tyrant, I guess. But you know, that's also why I shared my story, right? Like the first chapter of that story with you guys, because like I want to hear what the fuckos have to say. I'm already like a couple chapters into that as well, like just writing wise, I mean. I think I got a pretty good pace down for how quickly things are happening, how quickly they met the Shogun. Which, you know, that was another thing that was important to me, like, not to bring in people too quickly. Because, otherwise it's gonna feel too contrived, I think. Or maybe not too contrived, but like too quick, basically. You know, I just want to have fun with my stories, basically, is the thing. So we are just going down there, but I could just jump down here and kill the ice puppies. It's like, because it's like the crazy thing is, in that, you know, usually bring in the next magical girl every other page with one in between to know them a little bit better. Every other page? Do you mean every other chapter? We get the intro, then another page, then the next girl. Oh, okay. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, for me it's like, I mean, I haven't even introduced, like... Oh, you do mean chapter, yeah, alright. Fucking stupid. I mean, for me, like, the samurai story that I'm writing right now, like, I haven't even, like, begun to introduce Smokey as a character yet, right? Like, right now we're just in the, in ya boys fucking adventures, and then there'll be like, there'll basically be like a cut at a certain like point with his story, and then we'll swap over to Smokey as the main character for a while. Where's the damn dog? He's coming. He's coming. Oh, okay, it's this place. Cool. Yeah, basically, like, I wanted to kind of separate the two stories until they get together again, if that makes any sense. I mean, I think it does make sense, because, like, I was contemplating on, like, swapping back and forth until they, like, you know, get together, but, I kind of realized that that wasn't really a good way of doing it, because it kind of takes you out of the action of like one character, and it is like, to me at the very least, it was extremely important to highlight what Smokey is doing as well in the story, because the thing about Smokey is obviously that he, while, you know, getting isekai'd and whatever, he's still not, like, he's still a wolf, or a dog, I guess. And he isn't able to talk, so, like, all of his chapters are basically either it's somebody else talking, or, like, well, that's what they're going to be. It's either going to be somebody else talking for him, or it's going to be, just, like, no speaking at all. Hey, friend. Like, that's the idea, right? And I think that'll work out. I think that'll work out pretty well. Okay, well, now that I've done that, I can just use the feather and get to the... Yeah, so I don't think... Yeah, we're not gonna... I don't think we're gonna beat the game today. Probably gonna take one more stream. I was surprised at how quickly we got through, I was surprised at how quickly we got through... Whee! Crown of the Sunken King. Although, like I said, yeah, like, Crown of the Sunken King isn't a very... Like, it's not very memorable, which I think was reinforced by the idea that it wasn't very long either. Oh, I can see. Oh, shit. Hunts! What is this, fucking Canada? Got him. But yeah, basically, like I said, the idea is to have the boy appear in his own chapters until it all like comes together, basically. And then the story, like, you know, connects into like one overarching thing. I think that'll work the best, frankly. Boys, I gotta be honest with you, I have no fucking clue where to go. Oh, there we go. The fuck? Boomorphs. I like it. The Borgart